Thinking back in the days of my youth, considering my life as a whole, here I am, 65 years old in the Philippines. Thinking back to my birth, my parents were both 44 years old when I was born in 1956, October 31st, 1956. And to think about that in itself was a miracle. Parents being 44 should have been past the prime age for having children. Secondly, the fact that it was October 31st, it was 15 days past the cutoff for getting into school at 5 years old. I was not allowed, because I was born on October 31st, not October 15th or earlier. Maine had those rules that you could not get into school if you were born after October 15th for whatever God knows reason. Like a person who was born between the 15th of October and the December 31st wasn't emotionally developed enough to get into school. What the idiotic idea is that? Anyway, that actually, I think, ended up saving my life. Literally, I did not go to Vietnam. Here's the other reason why. In sixth grade, the school district, the principal, and the faculty came up with this inane idea that totally absurd idea that instead of holding students back for failing grades, they would create a remedial class group, and it would be called the transitional grade. Yes, and when it turned out to be selected, my grades weren't bad. I shouldn't have been. And my niece's grades weren't bad. She shouldn't have been. But apparently, because one parent got pissy enough with the school board, that because my parents were poor and her parents were lower middle income, and I can tell you right now, Frankfurt, Stockton students were also selected because their parents were in the low pay grade, not because of intellectual dereliction or any kind of need for remedial education. So we were lumped together. And when you take a bunch of people, especially people like myself who questions everything, I'm very cynical. I'm very skeptical. I have a tendency to not just take an answer, and you can attest to that by reading my Facebook and checking out the rest of these vlogs. Anyway, we questioned, and the principal came in, and my question was, so if we at mid years, if our grades are B's or above, then you'll move us into junior high with the rest of our sixth grade classmates who have moved forward. Oh well, yeah, that's something that we can consider at the midterm, which was bullshit. They never had any intention of doing that. It would have disrupted the whole rest of the system. It would have blown it out of the water. So because I was not allowed into kindergarten until I was 6, and I was held in this transitional prison for a year, that meant that I would not graduate until I was 18. And during this period of time, the Vietnam War was raging. In 1966, I was 10. In 1976, I was 20. Fortunately, the war ended in 75. So imagine if I'd graduated school in 1975 or 74, I would have been eligible for the draft. Had I quit school like some of my freshman buddies did, I would have been eligible for the draft. I could very well not be talking to you right now because I would be on some Vietnam memorial shaped like a V in Washington, D.C.